So we'll go through a little bit of my tricky leg defense. Bader and I were just talking about what this is called. I guess I don't really have a name for it. I just call it trouble. So when a guy gets in on my leg, I'm always looking to cradle from here. So whether the guy is on a single leg or a head outside single, I can turn it into my position. So if a guy's in a head outside position, I'm just going to quick bump him, throw his head to the inside, right? If he's in on a head inside single, that's more preferable. The key to doing a cradle from here is I got to shift his weight. I got to shift his weight from his outside hip to his inside hip. So if I'm wrestling this guy, so this would be his outside hip, this would be his inside hip from this position. My goal is to knock him to his far hip. That takes the danger out of the cradle position. Also, when cradling somebody, you never want to bring them across your chest. So when I go into this back fall position, I circle until I can't circle anymore, and I high leg over. So one of the biggest mistakes that guys make when they cradle, they get impatient, they try and drag someone across their chest, and they get in trouble. So there's actually zero danger in a back fall. And then it's the most dangerous cradle that we can have. It's a pinning cradle. So when I'm in here, guys on a single leg, I jam his head, and I'm going to knock him to his far hip. So when I jam his head, I go tight waist to keep him in place, and I'm going to try and knock him to his far hip. So I grab his hamstring, and I'm going to use my chest, and I'm going to knock him to his far hip. Here. And as I do that, my back arm goes deep. So when I'm here, I have my tight waist. I'm grabbing by his hamstring, and I'm just going to use my chest and knock him to his far hip. And as I do that, my hand slides back arm deep. When I cradle, my back arm goes deep, and I lock by his chin. So never should your front arm be deep. Back arm is always deep, and I want to lock by this guy's chin. And I just got to be patient. When I put this guy into a bad position, 9 times out of 10 they're going to panic and their head's going to come to their knee. So I don't want to rush this position. So once I get to his hamstring, knock him to his far hip, back arm goes deep, my chest is high. If my chest is low, I don't have as much ability. My chest is high, I have a lot of options from here. And again, my back arm's deep, and I stay patient. I keep his head trapped, my front hand comes in, right here by his neck, and I get my lock. If he holds onto my leg, I have 2 options. I go head in his hip bone, and I can suck him underneath, take his knee to my chest, and I just slowly walk his knee to the outside of his body. My favorite is the back fall. So back of his hamstring, knock him to his far hip, back arm goes deep, into my cradle. As he gets back to his base, I stick my head in his hip bone, I knock him to his far hip like a bull. And I circle towards his feet till I can't circle anymore, and I high leg over. Knock him to his butt. I circle my feet till I can't circle anymore. I high leg over. I'm up on top. Zero danger there. I'm not rolling across my back. I'm not rolling him across my chest. A lot of people get here, they lock up the cradle, and they start doing this. They start trying to roll this guy across their body, and that's when I get in trouble. So instead, I knock him to his far hip, and I can choose. I can go towards his head, where there's no danger, or I can backfall, whatever you feel more comfortable with. Head in his hip bone, circle till you can't circle anymore, high leg over, into my pinning position. So guy should single leg, tight waist, knock him to his hip, back arm deep. Head in the hip bone, in my cradle position. That's my favorite position I can be in wrestling.